Do you want to be the victim of a psychopath? Well, hell no you don't, right? Nobody does. So back in 1981, a couple of researchers decided to study this, to figure out how do psychopaths actually pick their victims, and then how could you, knowing that, try to avoid being picked. Here's what they did. They actually went into New York City, they set up a camera on the street, they filmed people just walking by, like 60 people, randomly. All shapes, sizes, gender, color, whatever, bunch of people. And then they took that video and they went into a prison and they sat down with some of the worst psychopaths in there, the rapists, the murderers, the people that'll hurt people just for fun. And they actually showed them the video, and as they scrolled through the video, watched it, they asked them to pick out quickly who they would victimize and who they would leave alone. And then they gathered that data. And it was interesting looking at it because at times, sure, some size and physicality played a role, but there were times when small women were passed up for larger men that the psychopaths said they would victimize. So clearly it wasn't just size and male versus female. There was something, some nonverbal cue that people were giving off that said, I'm probably an easier victim than the guy next to me. And so they went through that study, they sat down afterwards with the psychopaths and kept trying to break it down until they finally got to a few key learnings. I'm going to share those with you, and then I'm going to talk about what you can do. So one of them was the speed of walk relative to others. So if everybody's moving along in a crowd and you're moving at the same pace, it doesn't distinguish you from the crowd. But if you're moving either faster or slower, it does make you stand out, and sometimes for the wrong reasons. So if you're walking really fast, maybe it looks like you're nervous, or at least you're distracted, and so you might be an easier target. On the flip side, if you're walking really slow and tentative when everybody else is walking calmly and normally, again, that makes you stand out and makes it look like maybe you aren't sure if you should be there, and that makes you more likely to be a victim. So the speed of your walk is important to consider. A second one, though, is just how you walk. So if you walk with a normal, calm, relaxed posture, that sets you up to be less victimized than if you were walking awkwardly in an uncoordinated way. That says, maybe subconsciously to a psychopath, that person's not very physically able, so they're probably going to be easier for me to grab and do something with. So walking like you have some athletic capability in a smooth manner, maybe walking in a way that makes you look like you could be a predator yourself, that smooth, calm, relaxed walk that a predator would have, that is going to help distinguish you from somebody who they want to victimize. And then the third thing was your posture and your gaze. So sounds pretty obvious, but if you're walking and your shoulders are stooped and you're not making eye contact and you're looking down nervously, that flags you as somebody who could be easily victimized, as opposed to walking chest out, shoulders back, calm, relaxed gaze, not a hard, angry look at everybody, because maybe you'll get somebody who wants to fight you just for that. But that calm, relaxed, friendly, but confident look. That's those soft eyes, but aware posture. That's what you want to have. So those are the things you want. How do you get that? Well, you could practice your walk over and over and have somebody videotape you and critique you, I suppose. That's one way to do it. Obviously, the better way, I would argue, is do something that's going to give you that athleticism and that confidence. The best answer, of course, would be something like a martial art that truly teaches you how to defend yourself. If you guys listen to my videos, you know my favorites. Boxing, Muay Thai, Judo or wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Those are all ones that are going to get you in shape, but really teach you how to handle yourself in any kind of altercation. But even if you don't do a martial art, just getting yourself in shape with a fitness program that gives you some athleticism, that gives you some confidence. You know, if you watch some of the women in our program who get their first pull-up or deadlift 200 pounds, they walk with a different confidence than they did when they first came in. So those are my suggestions. Pay attention to how you walk, but do some activity that not only gets you in shape and helps benefit your life overall, but gives you subconscious cues that get sent out to others. They're going to make you less likely to be a victim of some psychopath. Hope that helps. You guys got any questions? Send them my way.